He's head over heels for Aika, chasing her everywhere. His persistence earned him a stalker reputation, but he doesn't care. Then, near a soccer field on his way to school, a stray ball flies right at him. This hit changes his outlook on life, making him reflect on his actions and their purpose. He's been persistent, but Aika has rejected him multiple times. It's been nothing but an obstacle. Despite his feelings, he must move on from constant rejection. And that starts today. Aika's bestie, Kei, notices Sayo acting weird. Usually he'd rush over to Aika right away. Even the teacher's shocked to see him sitting quietly, not glued to Aika's seat like usual. At recess, Sayo approaches Aika. She tells him to stop stalking her. He replies, "Sorry, who are you? I was just heading to the bathroom." Everyone is stunned. His friends corner him in the bathroom, and Yamazaki asks what's up. Where's that impulsive Aika-like sim gone? Sayo says he's buried, replaced by a women-ignoring chatbot. Aika's a bit anxious that Sayo hasn't said a word to her all day. She calls him and Sayo goes, "Oh sorry, did you call me? I don't listen to bitter exes." The whole class and his friend are worried about his sudden change. Suddenly, Rena, a girl popular with boys, approaches Sayo about his change. Sayo thought she just said hi, but Rena returns to talk more in class. Kei, being blunt, asks Rena why she broke up with her boyfriend. Yes, just like that. She thinks Rena's after Sayo, and it's good she dumped her shallow ex. Rena's upset they badmouth her ex and misunderstand her intentions. She leaves. Sayo follows her to clear things up. When alone, he advises on love, being an expert in rejection. He says if you don't fit in somewhere, it's best to leave. Rena shares why she broke up. Her ex said she wasn't his type. That was enough to end it, though misunderstandings occurred. Talking breakups, he realizes Aika wasn't his first rejection. A girl brutally rejected him. Her boyfriend punched him hard. He falls on Aika's chest. She slaps him but offers help. She told the couple it's wrong to mock others' feelings. This made Sayo fall for Aika instantly, but he was rejected for her to this day, and thinks if he can't do things with her, then he'll do them without her. Now he's just an anonymous fan, watching from afar and wishing happiness to the one he once loved. Anyway, Reina thanks him for the talk and now knows what to do. The next day, Aika and Kei see Reina back with her ex. Is this good or bad? I don't know, it's complicated. Sayo gets a visitor at home. Guess who it is? They came to ask what's wrong, why he stopped pursuing and bothering her. Well, that's what she wanted, but it feels strange now. While they're there, Sayo asks directly, "Will you be my girlfriend?" Of course, Aika says no. Sayo expected this, but it was his last shot. Then, the talk is cut short as his older sister Kaede arrives, acting surprised that Sayo brought a girl home. She asks if it's his girlfriend, but no way. A girl that pretty wouldn't date her hopeless brother. Katie's on the student council, even the VP, but who cares? She's still nosy. Sayo walks Aika home. Aika asks him to finish what he was saying. He won't pursue her anymore. He'll distance himself, calling her Natsukawa instead of Aika. He even asks if she has any friends to introduce him to. Aika gets angry and wants to hit him, but can't. Tears overcome her, and she runs away. Next day in class, their seats are now separated. Kei teases Sayo about being far from Aika, but he doesn't care. He adds that Sayo's constant presence kept other girls away from Aika. Sayo feels guilty about this. Then a girl named Rin, who's the disciplinary committee president, approaches Sayo. She scolds Sayo for intimidating her junior, the girl Sayo bumped into while chasing Reina, whose name is Yumi. Sayo sincerely apologizes and starts to leave, but it's not over. Rin takes her to the committee room to talk more. Rin explains her junior's problem, insecurity around men, and she doesn't know how to help. As president, she feels responsible for her junior's well-being. Sayo compliments her leadership, making Rin blush. Rin continues, saying when she tries to help, they always say, "You wouldn't understand." They think the president's life is perfect compared to theirs and can't relate. Sayo suggests saying, "Don't let it affect you," or "You can handle this in such cases." Then give them a pat to motivate them, as small gestures often lead to big changes. It's even better when it comes from someone you greatly respect. Now everyone loves the president. That's all, says Sayo. Before he leaves, Rin asks for his name, which he hadn't before. Sayo lies, saying his name is Yamazaki, which is actually his friend's name. Rin believes him and says goodbye. Next day, taking papers to school with his sister, he bumps into Aika and tells Sayo to talk to her, but the atmosphere between them remains a bit tense. At school, Kei suddenly yells that the president is angry with Sayo as she came looking for him. Since he said his name was Yamazaki, she went to Yamazaki, causing a misunderstanding. Now she's upset. She calls him to her office. Yamazaki was thrilled a pretty girl knew his name, but it was all a lie. In the committee, he apologizes by giving a muffin to the president and a cupcake to Yuyu. But Yuyu refuses, so the president takes both. Rin asks why he lied about his name. Sayo didn't want someone important like the president to remember it. He doesn't understand why Sayo dislikes it, while Yamazaki was happier than ever. Sayo leaves the explanation to Yuyu, who seems to understand, but she's too shy to speak. Sayo quickly apologizes for embarrassing her, as usual, apologizing for everything. This makes Yuyu more confident. She explains that since Rin, the president, is beautiful, Yamazaki was surely smitten. Having someone you like call you by your name would make anyone happy. With things clear, before leaving, Rin says Yuyu wants to apologize for their collision. Sayo offered to help with her papers, but Yuyu refused due to her insecurity with men. She promises to work on this so it doesn't happen again and to overcome her insecurity with men. Sayo reluctantly accepts the apologies. Back in class, Kei shows him Aika surrounded by new friends now that her stalker's gone. His sister texts, summoning him to the council. With holidays and a school visit coming, they need his work experience, gained through faking his age for jobs. The council, all attractive members, welcomes Sayo despite knowing he's a forger. They need his help. Sayo asks if this will be regular. His sister offers an unbeatable prize, a complete set of adult magazines. Then Sayo and the others on the council agree. The sisters already bought it, so that's settled. The president and Yuyu walk together. Yuyu feels bad seeing Sayo's disappointed face. He thinks he messed up and said something wrong. Rin uses what she learned from Sayo, saying it's all good and giving a motivational pat. It works. Yuyu feels better, though the president still doesn't get others' feelings. As I said, holidays are coming. Everyone wants to hang at Aika's and see her little sister, who they haven't seen in ages. Sayo, back from work, is invited too, but says he's swamped and can't make it. After class, Aika asks Sayo if he's really not coming. Before he answers, the president whisks him away. Aika, with nothing else to do, just goes along as usual. He returns to the committee to report about Yuyu, first thanking them for their helpful advice, then asking why they reacted that way to Yuyu. Sayo says it's nothing, but the president approaches, staring intently, and asks for his honest opinion. He feels Yuyu apologized just to address his insecurity. It's not bad, but he didn't want things to unfold that way. Rin is impressed by Sayo's ability to read people and seems to admire him for it. Everyone except Sayo visits Aiki's house, delighted to see her adorable little sister Airi. Summer arrives with new uniforms. Sayo's excited. Kei teases him about Aika, but class starts as the teacher arrives. Kei sees photos from Aika's house and suspects why Aika looks sad. Yamazaki introduces Sayo to girls including Koga, an athletic girl who talks openly about sex. Sayo joins them. Koga asks if he's slept with Aika. Aika angrily pulls Sayo away to another room. Teary-eyed, she scolds him for talking to other girls. Sayo's happy, thinking Aika's jealous. She denies it. He's confused. She leaves upset. Sayo talks to Kei, who's no help. A student council member takes Sayo away. Why is everyone grabbing him? Sayo believes it's something about the job he is backing, but no. The senpai called him to tell him that Kaede is extremely sad and distressed, because she feels guilty about Sayo's sudden change, leaving behind his love of so many years. Firstly, Sayo doesn't think his sister is concerned for him, and secondly, it has nothing to do with it. The senpai asks him to explain this to Kaede as she is taking it hard. So he advises Sayo to go to the rooftop where Kaede will be. When he comes out, several girls are watching the senpai, as he is very attractive. Sayo asks him if he is aware of this, and he confirms that he is. In fact, there was a moment when he fell into a pit he couldn't get out of, and the one who helped him to climb back was his sister, Kaede. That's why he greatly respects her and wants her to get better. Sayo goes to the rooftop and there is his sister. To start off, he asks her what she thinks about him. Kaede tries to answer, but her responses are basic. He's cute, he's nice. Typical things you say when you can't describe someone well. Sayo knows his sister's like this. Her opinion of him doesn't matter to Sayo, so he tells her she's not at fault. Still, Keide says she'll be nicer to him, so he doesn't get low self-esteem or change who he is. Sayo says if he changes, it's on him. His sister, the carefree one, the bully, Pooh's kid, well, if she's Pooh's kid, he'd be insulting himself too. But if all that suddenly changed along with his personality, it'd be annoying. Sayo loves his sister just as she is. It seems to end well, but Aika, who heard everything, gets mad at Sayo for being rude to his sister and makes him apologize. First off, Sayo asks why he's here, and Aika realizes she's been following him, just like he used to do. Life's funny that way, isn't it? Aika says nothing and runs off. Well, Kaide's still her usual annoying, disrespectful self with him, but that's okay. Later that night, Sayo wants to apologize and buy some snacks, but Kaede plays hard to get. Sayo threatens to eat them himself, and Kaede suddenly wolfs them down. Typical sibling move. Sayo takes pics to send to the hot student council guys, so she can't get away with it. Another sibling classic. Kaede fights back, whacking him with a bat. Sayo still doesn't care much about Aika, but he greets her occasionally and even compliments her at times. No longer sim, Sayo seeks peace. He eats alone on a bench, but Rin and Yu are nearby. Rin invites Sayo to join them. Yu seems less nervous now, but her friend Aya is anxious. Like Yu, Aya fears men. Unlike Yu, Aya confronts them aggressively to keep them away. Yu's now less nervous around men, thanks to Sayo's indirect influence on her change. Rin tells Sayo this, thanking him for his help. His reassuring pat and words really worked. Now her Koha Yu likes her more, which excites her. Makes her happy. Back in class, Sayo sees his friend Sasaki in a pickle. Sasaki's little sister is jealous because he gets along well with Aika's sister. Nothing shady actually, Sasaki likes Aika and tells Sayo straight up. Sayo's confused why Sasaki's telling him this since he and Aika aren't an item, but Sasaki knows they need to talk. After class, Aika asks Sayo to come with her, claiming she forgot something. Following Kei's advice, Sayo tries to get closer to Aika, but he still feels guilty about her past lack of friends. Now that she has some, he doesn't want to interfere, yet they both feel drawn to each other. Sayo overhears three girls talking to Aika with ulterior motives. The blonde Marika gets scared when Sayo mocks them. Marika and her friends known as the spoiled trio leave, not wanting to waste time with Sayo. After school on a rainy night, Sayo bumps into Aika. Sayo tries to ignore her as usual but spots a truck speeding towards Aika. Sayo jumps in front to protect her. The next day, after that cold night, Sayo falls ill. He dozes off and upon waking asks to visit the nurse, but he can't walk and collapses. This reminds him of when he dropped his food tray. While others laughed, only Aika came to help. Sayo rests in the infirmary. Aika and Kei visit briefly. Aika can't stop thinking of him. Then, the beloved Rin enters the classroom. Rin worries about Sayo. Kei shares more than Aika would have liked. She knows Rin's her rival. Kei and Aika sneak visits to Sayo. Though Aika's concerned, Sayo yells not to touch him. He fears infecting his little sister Ari through Aika, so he's worried for Ari, not Aika. But Aika and Kei see it differently, loving Sayo's sensitive side. Rin and Kaede arrive to care for Sayo, making Aika extremely jealous. The next day, Aika and Kei visit Sayo's house. Feeling guilty about his illness, Aika wants to take care of Sayo. At school, Aika sees Sayo talking to Marika, who's surprised by Aika's charm. Marika asks Aika to support her bid for student council president. Though a first year Marika can win if she gets enough votes. She wants Aika's support, knowing her popularity could sway many. Sayo says Aika would outshine Marika with her beauty and charisma. Marika gets upset at Aika even though Sayo made the comment. She lashes out at Aika for being prettier than her. Marika storms off as Kei arrives, noting how Sayo made Aika blush. Aika cutely yells at him not to say embarrassing things again. Sayo replies, "How sweet, if you yell like that, yell at me more." Aika leaves, blushing bright red. Sayo, looking for food, gets invited to eat by Yu. She's defensive, as is Rin, since Yu's kind to Sayo, who returns the kindness. The meeting's point, Rin invites Sayo to join the discipline committee. Sayo tries to decline, but considers accepting too. Yu, trying to convince him, holds his hands. This upsets Aya and Rin. Sayo thinks they're mad he let go, so he grabs Yu's hands again, angering them more. Yu's no longer afraid of men and likes Sayo, but this makes Rin and Aya protective. Later, Sayo meets Aika, who's concerned about his messy appearance from earlier. Aika fixes his hair and their closeness makes it seem like they're flirting. Sayo blushes and wants to pay for the massage. Sayo tries not to be obvious, but it comes naturally. Aika blushes, gets upset as usual and leaves. In the classroom, they're choosing helpers for the school event. As fate would have it, Aika and Sasaki are among those selected. Note, they'll work together, essentially becoming a pair. Sayo looks sad, though he claims he doesn't care. Kei's disappointed that he's not fighting for Aika. Come on, Sayo! At least object or ask to meet after, but nothing. Sayo's working his job when he sees boys bullying a kid. Like a true gentleman, Sayo chases them off, protecting Kota. A worried girl approaches, turns out to be Kota's sister, Fuka. Sayo's instantly smitten by her sweet, mature aura. Fuka thanks Sayo for everything, and it all ends beautifully. The next day at work, Fuka herself visits and brings Sayo a small gift. They then spend time chatting together. The conversation flows so well that Sayo compliments Fuka's sweetness and maturity. Fuka blushes as no one's called her mature before. It's quite moving for her. She's overwhelmed by the many compliments she receives. Fuka wants to see Sayo again, not just at the store where she works, but also outside, like in the park where Sayo thanks her for the gift she gave as thanks for helping her brother. A somewhat childish handkerchief, Fuka chose it to match Sayo, implying she sees Sayo as youthful. They also go to the beach together. Sayo ponders how he ended up on a date with a college girl, amazed at their beauty and maturity. He thinks today's college women are truly extraordinary. They head to the beach where Fuka plans to show him her favorite seashell. They'll visit a museum-like shop with exotic seashells where she'll show her prized one. At the souvenir shop, the highlight is an exotic shell from New Zealand. Sayo thinks one of these shells would make a great accessory for Aika. With her birthday coming up, he considers which would be the best gift. Fuka notices Sayo's gift idea and encourages him to choose the perfect one. Sayo calls it impossible love, deciding to watch his crush's life from afar. But that doesn't mean he's stopped loving her. Speaking of Aika, she, Eri, and Kei are heading to the beach too. Passing Sayo's house, Kei considers inviting him, but he's not home. Odd, since Sayo rarely goes out. They hit the beach and have a blast in the sun. Later, they visit the souvenir shop where Sayo is making Aika's gift. There, I spot a photo of Fuka in uniform. Sayo assumes Fuka's cosplaying, but it's actually her school uniform. Fuka's in high school, younger than Sayo. Sayo thought Fuka was in college. She seems so mature. What are they feeding schoolgirls these days? He thinks today's schoolgirls are something else. Surprised, Sayo puts extra effort into his gift. Fuka asks how he suddenly became so dedicated. Sayo explains that love motivates you. When you think of someone's well-being, you want to give your best. He tells her she'll soon experience what love is. She doubts it, but she'll see someday. Naika and others arrive. Yairi sees Sayo and Fuka's photo but says nothing, not knowing Sayo. What would Aika think? No, Aika almost spots Sayo from afar, but he's turned away so she can't confirm it's him. Returning, Fuka asks Sayo if she'll fall in love in high school like him. Sayo chuckles, seeing Fuka's innocence. He tells her to just wait for love. Fuka falls asleep on Sayo's shoulder. Sayo lets her rest and gets a photo message from Kei. It's a bikini photo of Aika. Sayo nearly has a heart attack, but it's a pleasant surprise. Sayo's quitting the store, but the owner found a replacement. Poor thing, even the boss doesn't like him. Actually, the boss thinks highly of Sayo and asks him to mentor the new employee, Mina. Sayo knows her as a classmate, but she's so quiet and reserved that she often goes unnoticed. Sayo's surprised and worried that someone so shy is working in retail where customer interaction is key. Sayo tries to help, giving her tips and advice, and most importantly, trying to get along with her. But Mina makes it tough, responding slowly and curtly, though she shows some enthusiasm, so there's hope. Things worsen when a customer arrives. This guy's one of those difficult customers, or as Sayo puts it, an idiosyncratic one. Sayo manages to handle him, but Mina breaks down crying. Sayo takes her to calm down and tells the boss Mina might not be cut out for the job. But the man tells him that Mina is someone very dear to them, and both he and she are excited about her working here. The lady, who's the man's wife, advises Mina and Sayo too, but Mina misunderstands, thinking Sayo wants her to quit. Mina begs him to let her stay, Sayo clarifies, and all ends well. Later in a WhatsApp group, Kei invites Sayo to a video call with Aika. Sayo joins. Aika turns off her camera, and Sayo shares his workday for advice. He mentions a girl bowing to him, which sounds odd, making Kei and Aika think wrong until Sayo explains. Soon, Kei excuses herself to shower, leaving Sayo and Aika alone, and after a while Aika advises Sayo to listen and understand Mina's words and feelings. With that, you can get along with her, or at least try. Sayo thanks her. Aika tries to speak, but Sayo hangs up quickly. At work, Mina's more enthusiastic and effective. Sayo wants to pat her head proudly, but doesn't, as Mina's not a child, though she seems like one. A customer arrives, and Mina, though shy, serves them. Sayo's surprised and happy with her progress, as is Mina. After work, Sayo asks Mina why she wants to work now. Mina wants independence. Sayo's amazed. He hasn't even thought about it, but Mina has reasons. She explains she doesn't get along with her brother, who's now on the discipline committee, a post meant for Sayo, but he declined. Mina frankly says she and her brother were close until a homewrecker, a girl, came along, whom her brother brought often. Because of her, Mina talked less with her brother. The last straw was coming home from school and seeing 2 pairs of shoes, meaning her brother brought that girl back. Mina didn't care about anything but her brother, so she rushed to his room and saw them in the act. Yes, that act. The girl was on top, giving him a good time, even seeming to go all the way. She only caught them kissing, but it still affected Mina, making her want to leave home. Sayo avoids family matters, but if Mina wants independence, they'll work hard together to make it happen. Fuka arrives later. Sayo introduces her to Mina, who's surprised Fuka's in high school. Sayo thinks Fuka and Mina would get along, and they do, sharing a love for books. I forgot to mention, this store is actually a bookshop. Fuka and Mina chat for a while, neglecting customer service practice all day. Sayo suggests training, and Mina practices, showing good progress. Fuka leaves, promising to visit. Sayo praises Mina's progress, saying she'll be ready when he goes. Mina learns Sayo's leaving the job. She didn't know he was just a mentor and feels a bit sad. Sayo also suggests he'd look better with shorter hair showing his handsome face. Sayo's charm seems effortless, either natural or unintentional flirting. Mina takes this advice to heart. Outside, they encounter the bandit brother, who finally found his sister after a long search. She hides behind Sayo, avoiding him. Sayo ponders, support the brother's wish for Mina's return, or Mina's desire for independence. He suggests finding a better place to talk. To complicate matters, Yuri arrives, the brother's girlfriend. Sayo speaks up, saying Mina's not a child anymore. They should listen to her choices, not decide for her. Mina's worked hard at her job. She shouldn't quit on her brother's request. The brother understands, and in the end, everything's on good terms. After the waves, Sayo gives motivating words and expresses pride in his progress. Mina responds with tears. The next day, Sayo arrives at the store and Mina shows off her new look. Sayo approves her look and also announces her promotion. From an apprentice, she now becomes a full-fledged employee. Fuka arrives, exuding charm and maturity despite being in high school. Sayo's perplexed. A high schooler looking college-aged and a high schooler looking younger. Such is life. Kaede tells Sayo to join the committee to help out. He refused, but they need help. His sister's bossing him, so she tells him to help and call Rin. As always, Sayo flirts unintentionally, saying, "Hey Rin, I want something personal with you." "What do you mean personal?" Rin asks, blushing. "Just to help you organize that event." "Oh, that's what you meant." Sayo meets Rin, who seems down. Sayo asks what's wrong, and Rin explains that holding Yuyu's hand left her confused. Sayo clarifies things for Rin. Moving on, Rin takes Sayo to meet the event organizers who are planning the welcome event for incoming high school students. It's like an orientation for newcomers. There are familiar faces there, including a couple. Since Sayo stopped pursuing her, Aika's social life improved, but she recalls how Sayo's behavior in middle school embarrassed her, like his confessions and antics, which he no longer does. Oddly, Aika misses Sayo. "He's right there, girl. Go get your man." Aika frantically searches for Sayo, not seeing him nearby, and bumps into him. The room falls silent. Sayo stands up and stretches. Aika approaches, noting he smells of sweat. She's been watching him work hard. Sayo blushes, realizing Aika's been observing him. He blurts out she looks cute, as always. Sayo then mentions Aika looks tanned from her recent beach trip. Speaking of the beach, Aika knows Kei sent Sayo her bikini photo. She could have reported Kei for privacy breach, but just asked to delete it. Kei did, but now wonders if Sayo saved the photo. Sayo denies it, insisting he wouldn't keep it for personal reasons. As Aika reaches for his phone, they stumble and fall into an embrace. But Kei interrupts the moment. "Kei, you wanted them together, now you're separating them." They all go for drinks. Kei notices Sayo's slight tan too, and yes, he also went to the beach. Careful what he says. He doesn't want them knowing he went shell hunting with a schoolgirl. Kei senses he's hiding something, and Aika, with a killer smile, asks Sayo to sit and chat. Sayo just says he left work, that's all. Speaking of work, he and Mina get along well now, and she's become quite the hard worker. Another topic is why he's here, as he wasn't chosen to organize this event. He mentions it's personal with Rin. She misunderstands, and Aika stops him from elaborating. Sayo finishes explaining, and Aika wants to savor this moment like old times. She suggests they go out as a group after the school visit once the event's over. Aika's pleading face looking at Kei and Sayo. How could they say no to that? The downside is Sayo might have more work for the event, but Kei jokes he'll badmouth him to get him out quick. Sayo gets mad and tries to take his drink. As they scuffle, Aika separates them. The day of the school visit event to the high school arrives. The couple's assigned a small group, and by chance, Fuka's in it. Oh boy, Sayo's in for it. The girls ask about Aika and Sasaki's relationship out of the blue. Sasaki blushes, but Aika calmly states they're just classmates. They start the tour and Aika says no more personal questions. Aika leads confidently and Sasaki impresses with his explanations. Their chemistry shows. Sasaki hints at a date, but Aika suggests another time. An elegant way of telling him to back off. Life's good until another group starts bothering Reina. Aika approaches them and in her unique way schools them, saying, "This school doesn't need kids like you." The boys feel guilty and seeing Aika now want to join the school, promising to behave better. Aika saves the day and they continue their tour. Fuka wishes Sayo had guided her on the visit and her friends tell her to stop daydreaming about him. Speaking of Sayo, Fuka spots him and rushes over, suddenly leaving the others and their guides behind, while Aika once again puts on her smile that masks her urge to kill. Fuka brightens up seeing Sayo, and to top it off, her friends say, "Oh, so you're the famous Sayo who saved Fuka's little brother, taught Fuka about love, and went with her to see her seashell." Aika's processing it all as the girls tell Sayo to take good care of Fuka. Fuka adds they shouldn't worry, as she and Sayo already have a deep bond. Everyone's confused, though Fuka didn't mean it that way. With the confusion, Fuka decides to leave abruptly, leaving Sayo to smooth things over. Sasaki also leaves, knowing what's coming. Sayo faces cute fury as Aika drags him off to talk, threatening with a bikini photo. Sayo spills everything, clearing things up. Aika asks for his phone to check for the photo. Sayo says not to worry, he'll only look at it occasionally. Sayo can be clueless, but he's honest too. So she lets it slide. What bothers her is that he's dating others, not her. Aika wants Sayo to try dating her and Kei like before. Sayo can't refuse and shouts that he's at her service. At night, planning to meet via chat, Aika will try not to repeat past mistakes. Sayo has learned a bit and now it's his turn. On a rainy day, Aika comes to work. Sayo worries and quickly invites her in. Mina gives her a towel. Aika's surprised by Mina's big change. As before, Mina wouldn't have approached or even glanced at her. Fuka also arrives, greets Aika, and Mina calls her over too. Sayo says Mina and Fuka get along great and Fuka visits often. Aika's a bit jealous, but oh well. The reason Aika came in this heavy rain was to check on Sayo, but he doesn't say it and Aika plays hard to get. She tries to leave but stumbles and falls. Sayo quickly catches her and they freeze face to face, silent. Mina and Fuka witness this, but being discreet, they quietly close the door. Aika finally admits she really wants Sayo to come to her house. Sayo says he doesn't want to be a bother, but Aika insists. She wants him to be a big brother to Airi. Wait, what does that mean? It could imply more, but that's not what she means. They're lost in each other's eyes. Mina and Fuka are watching, but you know, they're not ones to gossip. At Aika's place, Sayo is somewhat nervous and Kei came along. Seeing how pretty she is, Sayo compliments her, saying fine feathers make birds fine. A compliment that Kei didn't like at all, which makes her knock on the door. Aika comes out and Sayo is mesmerized by her cuteness. They go in and Airi finally meets Sayo. As soon as they meet, they start playing. But Airi is so energetic that Sayo is overwhelmed even though they get along really well. They take a break and Aika asks if he's okay. Sayo assures her that everything's fine as long as he can be a good big brother to Airi. This sparks Kei's curiosity to know what he meant by that, and Airi also becomes curious. Kei stirs the pot a bit by asking Airi if she doesn't want Sayo to be her older brother, and Airi is just happy to keep playing. Sayo is worn out, but his spirit lifts when he hears that his mother-in-law, or rather Aika's mother, is coming home. Sayo tries to impress, but mom knows him from Aika's many stories. Sayo's glad Aika talked about him, but to avoid exposure, he says it's time to leave. Mom wants to chat with Sayo next time. He's earned another visit to Aika's house. They say goodbye, and as usual, Kei makes an excuse to leave Aika and Sayo alone. Sayo says he's leaving too. but Aika insists on walking with him a bit longer. As they walk, Aika seizes the chance to express her pent-up feelings. She admits school's been better, partly because Sayo stopped pursuing her, but she also realized she always struggled with socializing, and her current popularity is largely thanks to Sayo. Good or bad, despite having friends, she feels hypocritical, smiling falsely at others' greetings, sensing something's missing, or rather someone. She realized only Sayo can fill her void. Being with him feels right. Fireworks burst, startling Aika. She clings to Sayo, asking if she'll use her name again. Aika regrets the question, longing for their old rapport. Sayo promises she will. As fireworks continue to dazzle, the spark within Aika reignites. Walking home silently, Sayo hesitates to hold hands. Teary-eyed Aika takes the initiative. Together, they make their way home. As the new year arrives, Aika expects to help Sayo get ready, as is tradition. But Sayo's heart resists, not wanting this closeness. Though they've opened up to each other, silences still linger. Sayo breaks them with silly remarks, making Aika laugh. Both Sayo and Aika now follow their hearts, but they still have much to learn on their journey together.